Might be too early.
It might be too early, but look, man, it's like when you go to when you leave in the corner store and you want to start drinking, you have your thing in a brown paper bag. You're fine. No one really knows what it is. It could just be a
Sure.
Coke bottle, could be Sprite, could be whatever it is. Anyway, good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to CrossBones MMA's UFC 194 preview show, pre-fight show, whatever you want to call it. My name is Eddie Law. That's Jesse Rubalcaba. We are here to break down the event that has finally arrived. Everybody made weight. Jose Aldo showed up. Lots of crazy shit going on. Let's get right into it. Actually, not right away into the fights. Let's talk about a little bit. I don't know if you saw the videos of the backstage stuff going on between Conor and Jose. There was a lot of cameras, and I saw two angles. One of them was from a journalist, and the other one was from Kevin Lee, right? One of the fighters. He was up at a higher angle. I guess they were just getting in line to go weigh in, and there was like a whole crowd of reporters, microphones, cameras, but Jose on one side looking like a homie from South Phoenix, bringing Compton straight up, beanie, chain, just like almost it was almost like down to here, just like going back and forth like this, jumping up and down. Conor on the other side of this crowd of people with the Irish flag, I think it was the Irish flag or something,
Yeah.
and sunglasses, jumping back and forth. I mean, the intensity of just the fight alone before the weigh-ins even started, like. It hit the roof. You know what I mean? It hit the roof. And then the weigh-ins, I nearly lost my shit when Jose Aldo, after he weighed in, he did the Conor stance. I burst out laughing because Jose Aldo is enjoying himself and he's now fucking with Conor right back. That was awesome. What'd you think of that?
I thought it was awesome. I think it just shows that both of these guys really are just trying to get any little edge on each other that they can mentally, just I don't know. It's like they're playing that chess match that we always talk about, that human chess match, and they're trying to just find that chink in the armor and just go after it, dig in, and I think Jose Aldo at this point, what has he got to lose now? He's just got to go in there and do what he does, and either he's gonna win or he's gonna lose, and I don't know. We were talking about this earlier about fighters that kind of just go out there and do what they do, just that's what they're gonna do, whatever. And it kind of sucked for me watching that heavyweight fight last night. Neither of those two guys, both really needing a win, and both really not going and wanting to win, wanting to advance in the UFC, wanting to do anything. Unfortunately, and. It was a sad fight. I think what was the total strikes, Matt? Like 11, 12 total?
For that fight? Nothing. I would just cross out. You know what? I would find a way to scratch that fight. It never happened. We never saw it. That's what I would do. I would be like, that never happened. Like if I was Dana White at the post-fight presser, he didn't do this, but he should have. If someone would ask me about that fight, I'd be like, who? That fight didn't happen. I'd have tried the Jedi mind trick on these assholes. It's like that fight never happened, or something like that.
But Steve, that's the thing. That's the difference. You see two guys that are desperate in need of a win, don't pull the trigger on each other. And then on the other side tonight, we're probably going to see two dudes that are just going to throw everything and the kitchen sink at each other. And that crowd is going to be crazy. Man, I don't envy people that are there, but I also would not want to be there because there's going to be fights. There's going to be lots of drinking. It's going to be crazy. So if you're in Vegas, be careful and better get these ready.
Yeah, I hope you worked on your double jab and your takedown defense, because damn, and your triangles, motherfuckers, you can take it down triangle. All right, nobody drunk can stop a triangle. I've proven it. Okay, I've been in plenty of bar fights myself. No one's ever stopped my triangle choke when assholes try to fight me. Anyway,
just kicks, man, just kicks, just those kicks
kicks
to the leg stuns people because they've never seen them before. They're like,
yeah, right. Yeah, throw a leg kick and make them do the stanky leg. That's kind of what it is. Real quick, since we're on the topic of that card, Frankie Edgar, damn. And it's relevant, by the way. Fight tonight, please believe Jose and Conor were watching last night. And please believe Frankie's watching this night. Frankie will be in the house, I guarantee it. But Frankie Edgar, dude, with the just boom, bah. Chad Mendes, a guy whose chin might have been exposed by Conor McGregor. Well, Jose need him in the face too. But, Conor McGregor might have kind of softened it even more. I think maybe. With Chad, he's kind of known as, obviously, as a striker, a strong guy, powerful, athletic, but he's also known as having some type of chin. Frankie knocked him out last night. Frankie doesn't knock dudes out very often. What do you think of Frankie Edgar now?
Man, if I'm Jose Aldo, if I'm Conor McGregor, I was like, oh, damn, that. I got to find a way to avoid that fight for a while, as long as I can, because, that was killer. That was a good performance. I don't know, man. I think Chad needs to, like a lot of people. We're gonna talk about this tonight, right now. A bunch of these guys rely too much on their chin. They hang everything on their chin, and eventually you're in so many wars that eventually that chin goes away, and it might be overnight. It might just happen in one shot, and you just are like, "What happened? I used to be able to eat those shots. Now I can't even take one of them." So I think that's really what happened there. I think. Chad really relied on his chin a lot and really just figured, Frankie doesn't have power. But I mean, we've seen Frankie with some really good power shots before. So, I mean, again, I don't think nobody in the MMA community, any of those people that are gamblers, nobody probably picked Frankie to knock out Chad and not even to end that fight quickly. I mean, my parlay, I was doing good up until that fight because I thought they were at least going to go 5 rounds. I thought it was going to be a decision. I thought it was going to be a nasty, grinding fight that Frankie was going to win. But, yeah, I didn't even think that was going to happen. So
everybody expected that. Nobody expected that fight to end the way it did and when it did, right?
Yeah.
So got a couple comments. The Joker here. Remember, I think we were talking about the Rose page card. Yeah. You said something about tough fights don't count. And Joker says, that's there, because Joker's watching, he commented on YouTube. He goes, there's the guy I was looking for, Mr. Tough Fights Don't Count. The tough fights let me know Rose would own Paige Van Zandt. What's your response, Jesse?
I still look, we're going to talk about someone that's on this card that beat Rose and didn't look good in the tough fights. That's Tisha Torres. I mean, I'm telling you, like, you got to throw those out the window. They're amateur. They're only 2 rounds, so you can't really set up your game. You got to adjust your game and your weight cutting almost every week, basically. You got to keep your weight on point. It's whoever wins those are usually really, really good, tough guys that are fighting at their natural weight. Like they're not really having to cut a lot of weight. They're coming in very injury free, and they're keeping themselves very, very honed in. Which is what I liked about this last season of Tough, where Conor really kept everybody in good shape, not really training and, grinding out, through the training sessions, just kind of light movement, kind of just sharpening what they already know and really showcasing, all their skills, maybe adjusting a little thing here and there for a game plan, but that's it. That's really how you should go through those shows.
Yeah. And then let's see. Joker says Tisha Torres is a decision fighter, all wins by decision. True. Rose was finishing people, crazy footwork, subs out the ass. And look, and
still couldn't finish Tisha though.
Exactly. That's the thing. I just think we saw a different Rose, man. I don't think we saw the same Rose we saw in Tough or even before Tough. This Rose, zero emotion, none. But even after the fight, no tears, nothing.
And that's what we talked about too. I said that if she fixed the holes in her game that were exposed, her wrestling, her emotional state, all that stuff, she's definitely someone to be really scared of in that division, I wasn't impressed with everything that happened in the house, but I said she's got the skills. She just needs to, she got exposed in her fight. Tisha did the same thing, took her down, really just nullified everything she had.
Yep.
And now we see her advancing her game, getting a good wrestling, getting a good base on top and all that. I mean, yeah, she's someone to look out for.
Yeah. No, and so I'm kind of in the middle between what you guys, both of you guys' opinions, but I just think it's a different Rose we saw. I don't think it's the same girl at all that we had before. So, Joker, you're talking about Edgar, saying Edgar was in the best shape I've ever seen. Mendes seems to have been going downhill since his 2 losses to Aldo. Then the replacement fight with McGregor. Yeah, I think Mendes is one of those guys who needs to break, dude. I think that guy needs to take not like a year off, but like just chill, maybe like a few months off, and then take a fight. I think. I don't know.
I think he needs to lose a lot of that muscle. I think he looked a little sluggish in there. I think if he was a little bit faster, he could have given Edgar a lot of problems. He just seemed like a tick slower. He was throwing hard and it was coming fast, but just not as fast as Frankie.
Yeah.
And if he really, and even in that Jose Aldo fight, you look at it, getting those nut shots early and then late in the fight and all that stuff, it just slowed him down, and like his cardio went down pretty fast. By the end of the fifth round, he was just gasping for air. Granted it was a tough fight, but I mean, I think if he had a little bit less muscle to feed all that oxygen, I think he'd be able to get through those 5 rounds and probably win against Jose Aldo pretty decisively.
It's possible. Yeah, I mean, obviously, he's gonna have to go back and figure these things out with his coaches. But yeah, that's a very look,
Yeah.
his muscle, that the fact that he has to feed that, just like you were saying, the muscle, all that oxygen, all that energy to move around, is somewhat of an issue. Mike Jarvis tweeting in saying, "I'm still shocked that Frankie knocked him out that quick. We all were, man. None of us expected that at all. And the combo was beautiful. Right, left, boom, done."
And that second punch that he hit him with so fast, dude, like it was just amazing how fast he hit him with. It was just like speed kills. And that's what it was.
Speed and accuracy kills like a motherfucker. Overpowered almost every time. All right. And joke, one more thing here. Team Alpha Male seems to always fall a bit short. Paige Van Zant, Chad, etc. Maybe why TJ left. I don't think that's why TJ left, but they do seem to fall short almost every time.
I think the problem is that who was it? Lance Palmer. I heard an interview that he did, and he really summed it up well. If you're just stagnant, you're not gonna get any better. And I think that's the problem with that whole team of just, we need to be here, we're gonna train here, and we're never gonna move, and this is our team. You gotta find people that give you different looks, give you a different, a fresh outtake on what you're doing, what you're not doing, where your weaknesses are. Hire God, who's the guy that just retired recently? I think it was Eves Edwards.
Yeah.
Or one of those guys. That basically what he does is he analyzes your fight, and he gives you like pages and pages of like what you're doing wrong, how your setups, where you're being predictable, all that stuff. Hire that guy. Hire that guy to give you a good breakdown of what you're doing and where you could improve, where your weaknesses are. Do something like that. You got to switch something up. You can't just have the same people around you, because if you're just beating people up, the same people every day, you're used to that. You got to go somewhere and be uncomfortable.
Go hang out with Dominic Cruz.
Ooh, I don't think Dominic will open the door for any of those guys.
Oh, none of those guys. No. Think about the lower weights and the higher weights. Anybody at 135, sorry, you guys are fucked until that guy retires. He ain't gonna help you. But anybody else, you want your tape breakdown? Dominic Cruz is the man. That dude is just on point with everything he says on pretty much. All right. Well, fuck it. Let's talk about the card, man. UFC 194. Let me get you some times. I got the times here written down somewhere. And here they are. UFC Fight Pass early prelims kicking off 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific. First fight of the night. The returning Court McGee, who was supposed to have retired. And then he started off doing motivational speaking. Going doing other speaking engagements, stuff like that. Former drug addict wants to talk about how he got fighting helped him, or martial arts helped him get out of it and help him straighten out his life. So we got Court the Crusher McGee against Marcio Alexandre Jr., aka Lyoto, because of the counter punching. So real quick, my thoughts on this fight. It's what's his name? Court McGee. I hate to say it, I find him boring, but he's damn efficient as all hell. That dude is one of the most efficient guys we've ever seen in the cage. And for some reason, that might be the reason people hate him. Well, not hate him, but people don't like to watch him too much. Right. Meanwhile, Lyoto, a counter puncher. He's got power. He's younger. He's probably faster. Probably quicker, a little quicker. But he's younger than McGee. And he's more active. McGee's been gone for a minute, I believe. I'm not 100% sure how long he's been gone, but he's been gone for a minute. It's not a hard fight for me to pick. But I could see Court McGee winning it, but I'm gonna go with Lyoto here. Probably like a later round, maybe decision. But against Court McGee, I mean, it's hard for me to make that pick like that because Court McGee is just the decision guy. But I'm gonna go with Marcio, just almost on just more active and more power in the counter punches. Who you got in this one, man?
I'm going against you there. I just think that Court McGee, like you said, he's that guy that when he punches for a reason, and when he punches, he knows he's gonna land. Yep. He's got I think a amateur and a boxing record. His cardio is so good. Like that dude never gets tired. He's throwing punches constantly.
I argue
and he
that
doesn't get tired.
he's got an oxygen tank under that freaking beard of his. That's why he's got cardio. That shit's going right into his neck, right into it, right take trachea right here. Just and he
It
just
might be, man. It might be.
yeah.
Who knows? I mean, that guy. I don't think I've ever seen him in the fights that he's been in. I don't think I've seen him where he gets too gassed or way too tired to do his game. And I think that's going to be the problem here. I just think he's going to be able to outwork Alexander Jr. here. And like I said, he's got the right skills to really beat most of the guys in the division and be like a really top contender. It's just like you said, he doesn't pull the trigger a lot. He doesn't go for the kill. We've seen him get submissions, we've seen him get knockouts, lots of decisions, but he's got all the skills. I just hope that in this fight he uses pretty much all his skills and shows everybody why he should be higher up in the card. We're going to talk about in the next fight, we're going to talk about a guy that should be, well, two guys that should be higher up on the card. And that's the thing about this card. If you have Fight Pass, turn it on, watch all these fights, watch every single fight, because all these fights are just leading up to the big, huge pay-per-view, and that pay-per-view is going to start off with a bang, and it's just going to keep going. I don't see this whole card is going to be probably one for the ages. Probably you got to watch this fight card.
There's so much potential for this card to be the biggest of easily of the year, but possibly the biggest. Not ever. I don't know. It's hard for me to say ever, but it could be the biggest ever. You know what I mean?
Yeah, could be.
A lot of names, a lot of big fights, a lot of really close fights. Especially the main event and the co-main more so, but the main event especially.
And the featured and
every fight's insane.
Pretty much, dude. Pretty much after once you get onto Fox Sports 1, it gets really close.
Definitely. Mike Jarvis has a question real quick. What happened with Rick Rufus and coaching Team Alpha Male? I don't know. I didn't even hear about that. Did you?
Rick Rufus from Rufus Sports?
I guess.
No, I didn't hear anything about that.
I don't know. Well, I'll do some research and I'll get back to you, Mike. All right. Moving on here. The second fight on the Fight Pass card, John the Bull McDessie, fresh off a busted jaw from Donald Cerrone, taking on Yancy Medeiros. This fight is, I think it's closer than a lot of people have it. A lot of people have it pretty handily for John McDessie, and I don't agree with that whatsoever. Yancy Medeiros has, he's got power. We've seen that. He's got, he's a tough guy. He's got power. He's bigger. He's stronger than McDessie, I think. He's like 2 inches taller, and he's got the reach, I'm pretty sure. He's got good cardio, and he's got a nasty left hook. The one thing that Medeiros doesn't have is a defense to speak of. You can smack him around with the leg kicks. If you get past that left hook, you're gonna jack him up right down the middle. That's the one thing I'm always afraid of when I'm watching a Medeiros fight, right? Yeah. And McDessie's a good technician, and he's got a power right hand. It's almost a recipe for disaster for Medeiros. It could be. But I'm gonna take Medeiros, hoping that that he can land that damn left hook on McDessie enough times to finish him. But I think it's a super close fight. A lot of people have it for McDessie. I have it for Medeiros in a very close fight. What do you think?
I just saw something. I think Mike said that he was on the Stud Radio. I don't listen to that crap. Those guys, it's like bro talk and bro science all thrown around. So
okay,
I'm good on that.
He was on Stud Show Radio after training with them. Oh, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'll have to look that up.
I have no idea.
Okay.
But about this fight, honestly, to me, it's just that the 4 losses that McDessie has are legitimate losses. Honestly, I mean, look, he got subbed by Dennis Hallman at the time when Dennis Hallman was just running through people. He got decisioned by Anthony Njokuani, who's a really, really diverse striker and fighter. And then his TKO loss to Cowboy recently, right? And then the only loss that out of his 4 losses that you can be like, what happened there, was his decision loss to Alan Patrick. It was a close fight, but he still lost that fight. But other than that, he's been on point. And the thing is, to me, I'm picking John McDessie. I think he's going to knock out Yancy Medeiros. I think he's going to be able to use his movement and his karate background and his taekwondo background that he likes to use his movement. And I think it's also because he's fought a higher level of competition and he's been successful in that higher level of competition than Yancy Medeiros. And again, Yancy Medeiros 3-3, very not real reliable in the UFC, in his 6-fight stint that he has here. So I just think John Makdessi has the experience to really be able to knock out or at least TKO Medeiros.
Yeah. Real quick, excuse me. If you're trying to comment on YouTube and you're having issues, what we found is that unless you link your YouTube account to like a Google Plus account, commenting on videos is hard to do. You can thank Google for taking over YouTube for that shit. Okay, believe me, I'm super annoyed. I've been super annoyed for a while now.
Good job, Google.
Yeah, Google. With Google's takeover.
Have everybody sign up for your crappy. I don't even know what to call it. Social media thing that they have.
Does that even work?
It works. It sucks, but it works.
Is it a thing now? People actually use it?
If you work for Google or are a Google fanatic, yeah.
Google fanatic is a thing. That kind of bothers me. All right, what's up, Randy?
If you want to know what Richard Branson is up to, yeah, that's a good place to go look.
That's funny. All right, let's get into the very last fight on the Fight Pass prelims. Joe Proctor taking on the Russian Magomed Mustafayev. Joe Proctor, he's a guy that's pretty solid everywhere, I think. He's solid in all areas. He has some power. We don't see it very often, but he's known to hit you a couple times with something really heavy, maybe in hopes of knocking you out or hurting you. Doesn't really work most of the time. But he's taking on a Russian who is powerful, and he's fast, really fast. I'm very surprised how fast this guy is. Mind you, the last time we saw him was in the UFC. He won by during the second round by doctor stoppage, and I think cardio was an issue in that fight. It was against Peter Hallman, that's right. And his cardio was an issue. He was gassing, and just because he put a vagina on Hallman, somewhere on his face, that's kind of the only reason he won. You know what I mean? So this is another, in my opinion. Again, a lot of people going for the Russian, saying he's just going to overpower Proctor and finish him early. I don't think so. I think Proctor knows, and he's going to be aiming for that gas tank, right? And I think he's gonna gas him out and win by decision. I'm picking Joe Proctor. Now, I mean, that might be wishful thinking, but I'm going with Proctor. Who you got?
You're picking with your heart. I like that. I call Joe Proctor Joe Lozon light. Mini Joe Lozon maybe.
That's a good way to fucking describe him. Good shit. I like that. He's Joe Lozon right.
See, the problem is that he's got his Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu training, and I think he's got his black belt under Joe Lozon. So that's probably why he looks so much like Joe Lozon. And I don't know. I think it's going to go down to the wrestling, and I think that's where Mustafayev or whatever, he's got the more advantage. Really good technical wrestler. He's kind of like Khabib in the sense that he has different takedowns. He doesn't just have one. He has very, very different styles of takedowns, I've seen him do an open mat takedown, which is really hard to do. Not against the cage. He has some really good ones on the cage, but in the open mat, in the open space, he has some really, really good takedowns. And I think that's where the problem's going to be. And I think Joe Proctor is going to fall into the trap of saying, "Oh, I've got good jiu-jitsu. I'm just going to let him take me down, and then I'm going to try to submit him." You're probably going to get smashed on the ground. And the other thing is that Magomed, he's a finisher. What is it? 12 of his wins. All of his wins are finishes. Yeah, 8 knockouts, 4 submissions. This dude comes to finish. He's not coming in there to, decision anybody. He's not trying to be boring. He just comes in, does his job, gets out. And I think that's what's going to happen. That's where his key wins are going to come from his wrestling and his goal to finish this fight. I think he's just, like you said, a lot of people are saying it, and that's probably what's going to happen. He's just going to overwhelm Proctor on the ground and finish it.
Yeah, and again, I'm hoping Proctor wins. I really do.
Yeah. But hey, we need a Lozon, a mini Lozon, a Lozon to win.
Yeah, because that shit last night was depressing. I was legitimately sad watching Lozon get picked apart by Dunham.
But man, Dunham looked awesome in that fight. I mean, he looked on point. He just looked on a different level, man.
Yeah, no, it is. Dunham's striking improved. You know what I mean? Before he was kind of a brawler striker, now he's an instant striker.
Yeah,
Andrew Reed taking the Ruski. All right, he's
of
got the
course,
Russian. Of
of
course.
course.
Anyway.
It's like Nick picking the black guys. I'm sure Andrew's picking all the European guys.
I wish Nick was here. I would love to see. He probably go in his little Michael Jackson voice like, "Fuck you, Jesse. I always pick the black guys." Anyway, if you guys haven't seen Nick, that's almost spot on what he sounds like. Anyway, he'll watch this later and be like, "Fuck you guys." Anyway, moving on here. That's it for the Fight Pass prelims. 3 bouts on the Fight Pass prelims. 6:30 p.m. Eastern, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. Translate that to your time zone. All right, FS1 prelims on television. FS1 for the U.S. Is it BT Sport for? I think once it's BT Sport for UK and Europe. Don't quote me on that. I'm just saying that's probably what it is.
Probably.
8 p.m. Pacific or Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific time, kicking off with a good. This is a Styles matchup if I've ever seen one, right? Just different, super different. Leonardo Santos taking on. Oh Jesus Christ!
I'm sorry.
Andy.
Andrew.
Also, Andy doesn't care. Andy said on Twitter says all the Europeans except the Potato Goblin. Quite obviously, that's an obvious shot. You guys can know who he's talking about. Anyway,
Wow.
fucking A.
That's a good one. I like that one.
Code's in the house on YouTube. Sup, bitches? I am here. We can now start the party. All right. We're gonna get some weird fucking comments the rest of the show.
All right, awesome.
That's what Code's about. That's kind of what it is. It must be that Oklahoma water. Not Don. Not Don, believe me. Anyway, let's talk about Kevin Lee and Leonardo Santos. These guys are two very, very, very different style fighters. Leonardo Santos is a good grappler. He's not a great striker. Somehow it's got him through a little bit, but his striking lacks power. Like I've never seen him hit someone really hard. At least I don't think I have. And then Kevin Lee's a really good boxer. His ground defense is enough to keep him alive, right? To keep him from getting submitted. And then once he gets back on the feet, he's going to hurt you. Every time he hits you, he's trying to make a dent. That's what Kevin Lee does. Quite obviously, my pick's going to be Kevin Lee, TKO at some point. Leonardo Santos could get this to the ground and maybe finish it there. But I just think Kevin Lee is just too good. He's got too much power, I think. And, he's coming off a submission win over James Montosri, so his ground game's not, impossible to win by submission. But I think he's going to outpoint this dude. And obviously, you don't got my pick, so who you got?
Yeah, I mean, I guess we're going against each other every single time here. I looked at both of these guys, and trust me, I'm a big Kevin Lee fan. I think he's got a lot of potential. He uses his wrestling, but not enough to my liking. He's got a good wrestling background. I think he's a NCAA whatever. I don't know, one of those long abbreviations of something. But he's a good wrestler. Left wrestling just because he wanted to continue his fighting career, which I think might have been a little bit of a mistake, leaving his wrestling career. But I think the problem here is that if he uses his wrestling at all, he's going to fall into Leandro Santos' great, awesome Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu game. 3rd degree black belt. And this guy, he doesn't lose very often. He only loses by either a decision, which he lost twice, 2 decisions, and he lost once by a knockout. Long time ago. Mm-hmm. And he's just improved ever since then. He doesn't get caught. He's very, very defensive, but he's got a good offensive game. And I think that's what's going to overwhelm Kevin Lee here. I think Kevin Lee is going to be a little too wild. And I think the problem is Kevin Lee is looking too far ahead for my taste. He was looking at Brian Caraway. He's looking at, the champions. He's looking way too far ahead for my taste. I think he needs to really focus on just, getting the next fight, getting a win, and, being dominant and really putting on a show. If he's able to do that in this fight, which is the perfect spot to do it, he has to go in there and just blow Santos out of the water and really make a statement. If he can do that, good for him, and he's going to move up really quickly. If he can't, what happened?
Yo, fucking Roy Jones Jr. just got knocked out.
What?
Yeah, Enzo Maccarinelli knocks out Roy Jones Jr.
What the heck?
Dude, I didn't think that was
Damn, I gotta
possible.
go. Yeah, I gotta go watch that because that dude has some awesome movement ability that I don't think I've ever seen him get hit flush.
Dude, go on your Twitter and I think Mike sent us the GIF or whatever they call it.
Okay, yeah, I'll do that after.
Okay, yeah, dude, that looks.
Wow.
Oh, left hand uppercut, hurt him. Right hand finishes him off, hits the ground. Jeez, ooh. All right, I'm about to look that up. Coach says we need to do our own show. You're pretentious. Oh, talking about Andy. This is Coach talking to Andy. We need to do our show. Your pretentious British accent and my stupid Southern drawl would work. I
That'd be
watch
pretty
it.
awesome.
I'd listen at least. I for sure would listen to that shit.
As the guys from co-main event like to say, hashtag would watch.
Would watch. There you go. Hashtag would watch. And then Joker saying he's got Kevin Lee as well. All right.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got anything against Kevin Lee. I mean, like I said, I'm a big fan of Kevin Lee. I just think that, Leandro Santos, he's tough. He's got the cardio, in my opinion, to win this fight. And his jiu-jitsu game, I believe is at a higher level than Kevin Lee. Kevin Lee, he could come in here and just destroy Santos, and that'd be great, especially since he's right here on the first fight of the card. Of what most people are going to watch, the FS1 prelims, they're just going to tune in, watch this fight, and be blown away, hopefully, by Kevin Lee. And that'll be great for him. And, like we always say, they're always setting up these fight cards building to something, and this is a good building block.
Absolutely. All right, moving on here to the next fight on FS1 prelims. Warley Alves against Colby Covington. Fight between two undefeated fighters, 10-0 for Alves, 8-0 for Covington. Alves is a quick hands, solid combos with power, and a good ground game. I think he's won 2 fights in the UFC via submission, I think. Yeah, he beat
one decision, didn't he?
Well, no, he got a guillotine. Both of them were guillotine chokes. One of them against Marcio Alexandre, and then the other one in August of this year against Nordine Taleb at Rousey versus Correia. He got the submission.
Didn't he beat Joe Bam too?
By decision.
Yeah.
But he's a ground guy that has good stand-up game. I mean, he's as solid as they come. And at 24 years old, plenty of time to get better. 170 pounds, I mean, we'll see. But he's really good. Colby Covington, meanwhile, submission guy. He's a submission guy. That's like almost the definition of a submission guy. He will take you down. I think he's a wrestler, if I'm not mistaken. He will take you down, and he will sub you if you give it up. I mean, rear naked choke win over Wagner Silva Gomes. Anying Wang beat him by that guy tapped the punches, so I don't know if that counts. He tapped the punch. When you tap the punches, I mean, you just kind of said, "Fuck it, I got nothing for you," right? I mean, it's like
you're in the Tito Ortiz range.
Yeah, it's either tapping the punches because you know you got nothing left for the guy, or 2, your corner is an asshole who won't stop the fight for you. Okay, and you should definitely fire your corners at that point. Sure. I think anyway. All right, so I'm gonna take Covington, man. I just think he gets the takedown, and it's gonna be a little, some fun scrambles on the ground to watch. This could be a ground game type of fight. I think Alves could, if Alves wins, it's gonna be because of the edge on the feet, right? And I think that's Alves' advantage in this fight. But I think Colby's strong. The wrestling prowess and everything. He's gonna get this fight to the ground as fast as he can, and I think he's gonna be able to submit Alves probably like in the second, third round. I'm not sure if Alves has been out of the. He's been in the third. Obviously, the decision fight was 3 rounds. He went third round with Marcio. Okay, so he doesn't have like horrible cardio, so that's good. But I'm gonna go with Covington. Who you got?
Man, yep. This is the fight card of opposites.
I'm going. That's always good.
I just like I mentioned just a second ago, he beat Alan Jouban. Alan Jouban in his stand-up game and his jiu-jitsu game is really coming along. And to beat that guy, you're pretty good in both areas because Alan Jouban has good ways of mixing it up. Colby Covington, I mean, his best win. I looked through his record. His best win was Mike Quicksand Pyle.
Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm a big Mike Pyle fan. He's a great fighter, very, very well rounded. Just it's not a great win. It's not a great win, especially in the last 2-3 years where Mike Pyle has really not been the same guy that he was before. And I just think both of these guys being undefeated, somebody is going to have to taste defeat tonight, and I think it's going to be Covington. I just think he's still he's still a little rough around the edges, and to me, Alves really has refined, the transitional fighting, the transition from being a stand-up to a ground, moving back up and down. So I think that the transitions is where he's going to be able to beat Covington, and that's where the fight's going to be decided in those transitions from, getting a takedown, not getting it, and then moving back into the stand-up game. And I think that's where Warley is going to be better in that situation. What? Who's agreeing with my picks?
Andy.
Oh,
Andy says,
never mind. Okay, all my picks wrong. Got to move over to the other side. Eddie, you are.
I'm correct. I'm genius. All right. Andy says something is odd. I'm agreeing with most of Jesse's picks. That is fucking odd, right? That is really odd now that you think about it.
Well, just wait till we get to the last one. He's really gonna shit on me at the end there.
Yeah, there's no way he agrees with that one. All right, moving on here. The second to last fight on the FS1 prelims, the Tiny Tornado Tisha Torres, number 5 ranked strawweight, against the newcomer, former RFA champ, Jocelyn Jones-Lidbarger. Well, Tisha, we know what she's about. Tisha's got good takedowns. She's got solid boxing, solid striking. She lacks urgency. I've never seen her be urgent, ever. Especially when she needs it, not urgent. Has no gas pedal whatsoever. Jocelyn Jones-Lidbarger, I don't know much about her. I should have watched RFA more, but I didn't. So I didn't know much about the RFA champ before UFC signed her 12 days ago. She's taller, so I'm assuming she's going to want to use that jab. You probably know more about it than I do, but she's probably going to want to use that jab, right, against Tisha to stop the takedowns and make it a stand-up fight and keep Torres from putting her on her ass. It's because I don't know much about Jocelyn. I want to pick the upset, but 12-day notice and not knowing exactly if Jocelyn is trains 100% full-time. RFA is not a huge paying promotion. She's probably got to do a full-time job on the side or whatever I want to say, and believe me, that shit matters. So I'm going to take Torres almost exclusively on the fact that, she's been in the UFC longer. Not by much. She's also a prospect. But I'm going to take Torres, even though I do want to pick Jocelyn for the upset. Who you got?
Who would have guessed that you were going to pick the Latin chick, huh? Who would have guessed?
What's funny? She got all kinds of whistles at the weigh-ins. Jocelyn got none.
Deserves them. She deserves them.
She looked good. She looked good. I'll say that much.
She's pretty good. Anyway.
Time out though. She replaced Michelle.
Feminists, send comments to these two Twitters down here, please. They will be ignored. Don't worry.
All right.
Just like you guys are.
Hey, shit. Oh, we're getting political. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think, like you said, I always pick against people that are just making their debuts in the UFC. But I think that Jocelyn has, she has the already the experience of being in a title fight, being on TV, being in front of a big crowd, all that stuff. I think that's going to transition well. And I think because of the fact that she hasn't had that much time to think about it, I think is what's going to give her the advantage. Tisha Torres, like you said, 6-0. I mean, she's got great wins. Paige Van Zandt, Rose, like we said earlier, Felice Herrig. That's not a good win. Never mind. Angela Hill. Wait, that's not a good one either. Anyway, she's 6-0. But like you said, she all she knows how to do is win by a decision. She doesn't have that second gear or even a third or fourth. She has no gear. She has one gear, and that's just kind of like press forward, use a little bit of her wrestling, and what's crazy to me is that she's great with her kicks and she hurts people with her kicks, but that's it. She doesn't go in for the finish. She doesn't try to, utilize her kicks more to set up other things. And I don't know. I just think that she's so conservative. And I don't know what she's waiting for. I don't know if she's waiting for an invitation. I don't know if she's waiting for you, Eddie, to come over there and, give her some good talking to before her fight. I don't know.
No, I don't know, man. Pat Barry. You see Pat Barry hype up Rose? That shit worked.
Yeah. Yeah, you could be her Pat Barry, man. I don't know.
Don't put me in that, man. Hey, look, I'll tell you why. Joker says Tisha Torres is not hot, man. When she puts on a baseball cap, she looks like a 15-year-old skateboarder. I kind of agree.
Wow.
Wow, Code is taking shots, man. So to each their own. Maybe that is what he's into. If he slicks back her hair, she looks like a 12-year-old boy. This is getting gross.
Wow. Yeah, this is getting
Yeah.
pretty bad.
All right.
I'm gonna go back to what I was saying over here. Yeah, just Lieberger. She's the thing with her is that I believe she has a twin sister. Both of them fight. Both of them are really, really good strikers, and I think they just feed off each other, trying to better one up each other. And I think the thing is that even though Tisha Torres has a amateur Muay Thai record of 16-4, she never uses it. She doesn't use the skills that she has learned. Even her wrestling, she doesn't use it that well. And I think Lieberger has all those skills and some, and she has just she's been in the top of her promotions. She's a good fighter, and I think she's going to be able to pull this off. Jocelyn Jones Lieberger by probably it'll be a decision, but I think it's going to be an exciting coming out party for her.
Yeah, real quick, you remember the guy years ago with the UFC in green letters on his forehead and the Just Bleed on his chest, doing this shit and yelling? Someone on Twitter tweeted it out, and it's funny because I wonder if that guy's still alive. Because if he is, I want him to see this shit, and I want to know: do you feel embarrassed at least a little bit? Like, do you regret that at least a little bit?
Probably not, man.
He's a fucking weirdo to begin with. He's probably still a douchebag. Probably. Lives in a van or something.
Still rocking his tap out shirt, In
a camper outside a Gold's Gym somewhere. All right. Anyway.
Wait. Are we describing Ken Shamrock?
Oh shit. We're throwing jabs now. All right.
Oh no.
We'll talk about that fucking fight card at some point. That's gonna be fun.
No, we won't.
I know, right? We're not. We're definitely not talking about it. Anyway.
I might talk about Data 5000 before I talk about Ken Shamrock.
100% for sure. All right. Moving on to the featured prelim of the FS1 prelims. Number 4, Uriah Faber, the California Kid, a.k.a. Permanent Gatekeeper at 135 against Frankie Saenz, number 13, bantamweight. Here's my thing on Faber here. He wins small fights big, right? He wins them. He finishes them for the most part. But he chokes in big fights. It makes no sense to me. His wrestling is still strong even at 38, 37 years old, whatever he's at. His submission game is still good. That kind of never goes away unless you're Ken Shamrock, and then you can't stop. Then you can't tap out a Kimbo slice, which is ridiculous.
Nah, man, his arm's gas, dude.
Oh, I'm sure.
He was throwing so many punches and holding Kimbo down. His arm's gas.
Yeah. Let's just go with that. Frankie Saenz, he's not. I can't say he's great anywhere, but he's really solid everywhere. You know. He's a pressure guy. He could upset Faber via decision. He could kind of push him around and everything a little bit, and kind of outpoint him. But I just don't see it happening. This isn't a huge fight for Faber. It's a huge fight for Frankie Saenz. Faber's a big name. He somehow upsets this guy. Who knows where Frankie goes next? But I got Faber via some kind of submission, probably rear naked choke. I just think it's gonna be the usual for the California Kid. So I got Faber. What you got?
And here is where the minds meet. Yeah, Uriah Faber. I looked at Frankie Saenz's record. Honestly, he should be. He's 13-2. He should be 14-1 because he was on his way to win that one where he got disqualified. It was an illegal knee that he threw early in his career. Probably still learning how to do stuff. He, like you said, he's not like a specialist in any one place, and I think that's the problem here. He's got 15 fights under his belt against Uriah Faber's 1 million fights or whatever he's got. Faber's seen it all, and he knows how to deal with pretty much every style, unless you're pounding him on his head and he gives Herb Dean the thumbs up. That's probably the only way you're going to beat this guy, or kick his leg to shreds. So I just think that Uriah Faber is going to come in. He's going to use his patented guillotine. He's going to, probably guillotine the hell out of Frankie Saenz. It's a big stage for Frankie. Hopefully it goes more than a round or two so he can show off his skills, but I just don't see him doing anything great in this fight. And I really think that Faber might have a renewed sense of purpose. trying to get to a title fight again. And I think he's going to want to go after his old training partner, TJ.
Yeah, he wants that
Either
fight.
TJ or, I'm sure he's going to just be waiting for whoever wins that fight, TJ or Dominic. So,
Yeah.
He's got motivation to keep his win streak alive here and get another shot at somebody.
Yeah, and you know what? I think Faber for the most part. Look, I don't think Dana thinks that Sands is going to beat him. I think he was on this card as insurance for Jose Aldo not showing up. I could have sworn I was hoping more for Frankie Edgar. You know what I mean? To be there if Jose hadn't shown up. But I think Faber's just kind of insurance to have somebody fight McGregor and have it be an interesting fight. But
well, Frankie would have been able to fight either way.
Oh hell yeah, he didn't. One hit knockout. Hey, go ask go ask the commission for permission. Pat Lumball's bitch ass. I don't give a fuck. I disrespect that lady all day. She was a case that she saw. She'd probably be like, yeah, go ahead, sure, yeah. Dana White, little money on the table. She'll do it. She'll let it happen.
Or you know what would have happened? She would have been like, no, get Chad in there. Chad's good. He doesn't need a CT scan or anything.
Yeah, he doesn't need a doctor. What do you mean a doctor? Okay, he's not a doctor. I mean, when Nick Diaz walks by and goes, plead the fifth, bitch. But yeah. Anyway, so that's your FS1 prelims right there. 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific on FS1. And Andy told me, and I have it here somewhere down here. Andy told me it's on BT Sport 2. So I believe, yeah, BT Sports 2 in Europe. The prelims start at 1 a.m. their time. So, yeah, if you're in the UK, check it out. All right, let's get right into the main card. Pay-per-view kicks off 10 p.m. Eastern time. All you people on the East Coast, quit bitching. It's a great card. Drink some coffee, take some Fire Energy, do whatever you got to do to keep yourself awake.
Do some shots.
Yeah, do some shots. But I think all these fights are going to be so good, you're not going to want to pass out, so you'll be all right. 10 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Pacific time, kicking off a baller-ass fight between number 5 featherweight Max Holloway, Blessed Holloway, against the Little Heathen, Jeremy Stephens, coming in at number 8. Last time we saw Jeremy Stephens, I bet he's super glad he got that knee to land on Bermudez. He was losing that fight. You know what I mean? And Stephens landing that knee and putting him out was a huge win for him. He had missed weight. He made weight yesterday, so it worked out. He had missed weight, so he kind of redeemed himself a bit. Made weight yesterday, so he's good to go. Otherwise he's kind of in trouble, or maybe even out of the UFC. Max Holloway is good. He's a smart striker. He's got a good ground game. Not a rookie in the division anymore. A little older, a little wiser, and his confidence is sky high. For me, it's not a difficult pick whatsoever. Max Holloway wins this fight, no problem. Who you got?
Yes. Yeah, pretty much everything you said. I mean, there's really not much more to add. I think Jeremy Stephens is going to be outclassed. It sucks because Bermudez is a great fighter, and I think this is the fight that had he won, this is the fight that they probably would have put together to give a number 1 contender fight. I think this is what it would have been, is him against Max Holloway to see who's next for the title. And I think that's kind of what this is kind of looking like. I think Max Holloway is really on his way to becoming a really, really, really good contender, well-rounded. Reminds me of BJ Penn back in the day when he started putting everything together. Very vicious striking, really good on the ground, really just gives zero fucks about whether he gets taken down, whether he's, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter for Max Holloway. He's going to make it a nasty fight wherever he is. And I just think that Jeremy Stephens likes to have those fights, and he's going to pay the price for having a fight like that with Max Holloway. I just think, like I said, he's just going to get overwhelmed and get bombed on.
Yeah. For Holloway, after losing to Conor McGregor, he finished Will Chope, finished Andre Fili, finished Clay Collard, finished Akira Corsani.
The Cassius one? Oh, man.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Finished Akira Corsani. He beat Cole Miller by decision, which is usually where that guy goes anyway. He finished Cub Swanson and finished Charles Oliveira. This is going to be another finish for Max Holloway. It's going to be really hard to deny that guy.
Whoa. Didn't Charles Oliveira's freaking head fall off or something?
No, his esophagus injury, a.k.a. his vagina, fell off. It's kind of what happened.
Where was John, Big John McCarthy to tell him, you're not hurt.
No, he said, hey, we were talking about it before the show. Who did he tell that to? He told it to,
what's his name?
Oliveira.
No, Barbosa.
Barbosa, then he throws it to Barbosa. After he got hit with that illegal ass up kick, and he was clearly rocked, he goes, "You're not hurt. You're not hurt. Get up." Like, when did McCarthy start cornering this guy? That makes no sense. That was
Best
so
in the business, dude. That was so awesome because like he basically like snapped him back into reality, like just shake it off, you know. And then he brought in the doctor, like, yeah, just check on him. He's fine though. Like, you know, like John McCarthy knows what's up in those fights, dude.
Definitely. Yep. Code and Joker both taking Holloway as well. Joker saying give McGregor a hard-fought decision. And he was young as fuck when that happened. And Andrew Reid also taking Max Holloway in that fight. Moving on to the next one. This is gonna be a great
fire.
Damian Maia, number 6 welterweight against number 12 Gunny Nelson. Damian Maia, dude, on the ground is just beast mode. Brilliant grappler. Ridiculous. He lacks a double leg takedown, which kind of bothers me sometimes, but whatever. And he has striking that somehow has kept him in fights. You know what I mean? But the second that fight goes to the ground, you're in deep shit with Damian Maia. Gunnar Nelson, meanwhile, he's a great grappler. He's a good striker, but he lacks output. He tries to be efficient, right? Because when he throws it lands hard for the most part. Doesn't mind. He won't mind having this fight go to the ground, but I think he's going to try and keep it on the feet, try to outpoint him, and try to hurt Maia. We all want to see this fight in Metamoris or EBI. Not even a fight. I just want to see the match.
Yes.
EBI,
Please.
Metamoris at some point. Gunnar Nelson against Damian Maia will be legit as hell.
If we can start like a Kickstarter, everybody sends like $5, $10, $20 to pay these two guys to just go at it at one of those jiu-jitsu tournaments. Sign me up.
There you go. I'm picking Nelson, man. I think he's gonna point strike to a decision. I'm hoping for an upset. I'm a Maia fan. I'm hoping for an upset. I really am. But I'm a Maia after the Anderson Silva fight. That pissed me the hell off. But other than that, I just think Nelson's gonna have the just on the feet, find a way to keep it on the feet, and goes to the ground. It's just gonna be kind of a stalemate at that point, I think. So I'm taking Nelson. Who you got?
Man, I guess we're back to opposites. I'm going Maia. Everything you said is correct, except for the fact that I think Maia's striking game has advanced ever since that Anderson Silva fight, and you saw it too. In that fight, you saw Maia being like, I don't know what to do here. Like, I don't want to get hit by this guy, but I want him to go to the ground with me. And the only way I'm going to go to the ground is if he hits me and knocks me out, and then he jumps on me. And I don't want to do that either. So it was a lot of running. It was a lot of movement. And it was a lot of nothing happening in that fight. You know, he just didn't want to engage. And ever since then, you've seen him advance in being able to engage and really bring the fight to people. Even though he has that awkward... It's almost like these jiu-jitsu guys develop this awkward striking, kind of like Jake Shields, where it looks like, you know, a 10-year-old just started boxing for the first time. Jake Shields, I love you, but your striking sucks, dude.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know what it is. I don't know if he just doesn't care to make it better, or if it's just he feels that it's competent enough that that's all he needs to just kind of, you know, disrupt you for a little bit, you know, do a little like, haha, like move his hands in your face and then take you down, and then, you know, you're in his world. But I see Damian Maia like with a little bit more power, with a little bit more pop, and I think he's going to be able to really. I think it's going to be a grinding fight. Nelson is probably going to be a little bit confident, and he's going to, you know, pop on Maia a little bit and then try to take him to the ground thinking that he's got him rocked, and he's going to be in Shitsville. I just think that Gunnar Nelson, good on top, not so good on bottom. I think Maia's going to be able to get this fight to the ground. I think he's going to use his better boxing than it was before, and I think he's going to set up a good takedown. Yeah, his takedown's not the best. He likes to use the cage more than anything, you know, kind of just trip people. But I just see Maia being able to win this fight.
All right, yeah, and you know what? Yeah, I know. Joker says, Maia. I'll read that one in a second. Joker on YouTube says Maia won't get submitted by Gunny for sure. Maia's got it, so he agrees with you. Andy says,
I don't know about that, man. That's going to be a tough ask. I mean, both of these guys on the ground, they're pretty good.
Andrew Reed says, so looking forward to Maia versus Nelson. Should be brilliant, and it really should be. And then he says Nelson is the only guy from SBG who will win tonight. Whew. All right. And then, Yeah, Michelle Batazzi taking Nelson via decision. All right. Next fight up. This fight we've been waiting for a long time. It's been canceled who knows how many times. It's finally happening. They made weight. They seem healthy. They're not injured as far as we know, but they showed up. They're good to go. Number 2, middleweight, Jacare Ronaldo Souza against Yoel Soldier God Romero, a.k.a. Gay Cheeses. If you guys watch that shit, look, I don't care what anyone says. What he said was, it sounded like Gay Jesus.
Don't forget Jesus, man. Don't forget about him.
No, don't forget Jesus. At the time, I think they legalized gay marriage. I think they like that earlier that day or the day before. That shit was hilarious. I don't care what anyone says.
No, he was reminding people, don't forget about him, man.
Unintentional comedy is the best. Are you kidding me? All right, unintentional comedy is the best shit that ever happened on television.
Hey, that's why I love listening to Loveline, dude. Listen to that crap. People come with the dumbest questions. If I put a condom on backwards, will it still work? Like, you're a dummy. Stop having sex.
Please use it regardless of how you use it. Do not procreate, motherfucker. Anyway, Jacare, 36 years old. Yoel Romero, 38 years old. So neither one of us spring chicken. These guys are looking for a title shot now. Jacare coming off a submission win over Chris Camozzi, who he destroyed before anyway. That was, you could almost say that fight didn't need to happen. You know what I mean?
Gimme. Can you call that fight a gimme?
It was way more than a gimme, man. It was sad. And Yoel Romero just beat Lyoto Machida via knockout in June.
Elbowed Lyoto to hell, man. Woo.
Yeah, he murdered him. Beat Tim Kennedy in September last year via TKO, a.k.a. I sat on the stool too long because my corner are cheating assholes. Tim Kennedy was pissed about that too.
Man, what was that? Was that like a 1930s like boxing technique right there? Like, throw water on him so he's super wet, like just all kinds of technique right there. Smear Vaseline all over his hands and face.
What they should do now is do what they did in the ice. Remember when Joe Rogan lost his mind because the ice was all over the place? That's what I would do. If my guy's gassing out, put a little cut in there, put it on there. Oh shit! Dude, it took like 5 minutes to clean that thing up. Perfect. You know what I mean?
My god. Can you imagine the madness that would happen in Joe Rogan's, like, they'd have to put a camera on Joe Rogan so you could see his head just turn bright red and his vein about to burst.
Yeah, who knows what would happen. Yeah, even Mike saying gay cheeses. Anyway, Jacare he's just damn good. He's just damn good. He doesn't look like a guy that can hit you very hard, but when he hits you very fucking hard. And he's a beastly ground game. And Yoel Romero, I call him Mr. T with actual skills. He can murder you with his left hand too. And
wait, are we talking about Mr. T like movie Mr. T? Or are we talking about like Rocky 3 Mr. T? Because that Mr. T was a beast.
Yeah, Rocky 3 Mr. T. But he didn't. That guy was. Remember? Okay, perfect example right there. Remember, Yoel Romero used to fight super wild. Like he almost came out like this every time. Every punch he threw was from wide, all weird and stupid. Yeah. Now he actually uses that left hand to pressure dudes. That's perfect now. What was his name? Clubber Lang was Mr. T's character in the Rocky movie, Rocky 3. And so that's what I call him, Mr. T with better striking skills. How's that? And he can murder you with his left hand. But I think Jacare is just too skilled, and I think he's gonna take that maybe third round TKO because, as we know, Yoel Romero will gas at some point, especially if you attack that body. So I got Jacare, man. And I think Jacare, if he wins and he finishes this fight like I think he will, he's got to be up next for middleweight, unless we get the most epic fight ever in middleweight history in our co-main event.
Wait, are you saying that's not gonna happen?
I'm saying I'll give you my pick in a second. But how about that? I think Jacare deserves a title shot. So I got Jacare. Who you got?
Here we go. We're gonna argue about this next pick. I think I agree with you. And look, I wrote down Jacare, but these last 3 fights, literally, if you're a gambler, don't gamble. Nope. Don't bet on any of these 3 fights because it's just who the hell knows what's gonna happen in these last 3 fights. These fights define this card for me. It's number 3 and number 2, then number 1 versus champ and number 1 versus champ. Mm-hmm. I mean, these are the 3 best fights that they could have put together. And I think that's exactly – I was looking at the lines earlier, and basically the money on this fight is going half and half. Nobody really knows who's going to get the edge here. Everybody's just kind of picking from their heart. I'm gonna go against you. I just think that Yoel has the determination to win this fight. And I think Jacare. I really want Jacare to win. I really want Yoel to win. So I'm picking Yoel, and I hope it's a great fight, just like I think it's gonna be. Both of these guys are really, really skilled. And from the last fight, it just seems like Yoel Romero has this newfound like energy, newfound skills that he's been working on. And yeah, it sucks that he's so old, but I think because he doesn't have that many miles on his MMA miles on his body, that's going to be the difference here as well between him and Jacare. Um, I'm picking Yoel, but man, it's going to go either way, man. um, I'm just picking Jacare just to be the antagonist here, but yeah, I could see it going pretty much either way. Both of these guys super skilled. Just watch this fight. That's pretty much it.
Yeah, we're about to get more antagonist here because we're about to take the co-main. But real quick, Joker says I got Jacare for sure or for show, and also says you know damn well you're always talking about gay marriage being wrong. Of course we know that shit. It was way too well timed. Gay Jesus. Come on.
What's he gonna talk about now? ISIS?
You know what?
Don't forget about ISIS.
You know what? I think we should start using the word ISIS as an insult. You know how everyone got pissed off? Like you can't call anything gay anymore because then you're a homophobe, even though you're not talking about any kind of sexuality. We should be like, that's so ISIS, dude. You know what I mean? You're so ISIS, and just turn it into such a slur that like ISIS goes, fuck, we gotta change our name. This is so weak.
Don't worry, they'll change it soon enough.
Yeah, to whatever they change it to. Anyway, Andrew Reed taking Jacare in that fight as well. Mike Jarvis says Yoel will shock the world if that's even possible while he's laughing. Okay. Wow. Anyway.
I know it's a long pick. They're both skilled, man. Yeah, these last 3 fights, anything can happen.
These last 3 fights are damn close, and it was hard to make a pick. And even the co-main event we're about to talk about right now, it was hard for me to make my pick.
Let me just hear it. Go ahead, give it to me. Who is it?
All right.
Who is?
So we're taking. All right, relax. The next fight, the co-main event, the champion Chris, the All-American Weidman, or the All-American Chris Weidman. However, if I could get a clip of Goldberg saying it, I would do that and just play it because I hate saying it. The All-American Chris Weidman because it makes me. I feel like I should have like an American flag behind me and shit. Taking on number 1, Luke Rockhold. A lot of people are picking Rockhold. I'm picking Rockhold. Okay. And we can talk about what they do in the cage and all that. Chris Weidman's a baller wrestler and all that, and he beat Anderson Silva twice. And then he beat the crap out of Vitor Belfort, whatever. He beat the crap out of Vitor Belfort, who knocked out Luke Rockhold, even though that Vitor that knocked out Rockhold was on all kinds of juice. Oh, dude, perfect. Groundsman on YouTube says no gay ISIS is gonna be Yoel Romero's thing tonight. No gay ISIS.
There you go.
Yeah, you know what? If Yoel Romero wins, he should just shut the hell up and just thank God and all that stuff and then move.
They're not gonna give him a mic. You're crazy.
They shouldn't. They really shouldn't. And Joe Rogan's gonna go up there with a huge smile on his face, going, "We're about to get some good shit. What up?" Like, but regardless, Chris Weidman, he's a beast wrestler. He gets on top of you. He gets top control. You're pretty much fucked, right? Let's just look at the guys he's beat. He's beat Vitor Belfort, Lyoto Machida, Anderson Silva twice, Mark Munoz. He's beat a bunch of old guys. Yeah. Let's go look at who Luke Rockhold beat. Lyoto Machida, granted, older fella, still. Michael Bisping, talker. I want to say old, but his skill set doesn't really. It's kind of one-dimensional at this point, right?
Not really, man. I think if you look at the fights that he's had, he beats people with his pressure and his boxing, and he's really good at moving. Like that's the weird thing about him. Like he might choke at the big fights, but he's really good at making dudes look stupid in that ring.
That's very true. And I'm a big fan of I'm a fan of Bisping for the fact that he's shit talking, but he's honest about it. Yeah. And that he beat DC Holloway. Is it DC Holloway? CB Dollaway. Wow. Okay, sorry. CB Dollaway. That's how much I dislike CB Dollaway. I don't remember his name. Yeah.
What are you, Reebok over here? Merging two people. DC.
Yeah. Hey, breaking news. I've been fucking up Reebok on purpose. I'm trying to break this deal, help the fighters out. Okay, you got me. Okay, you should thank me. Thank me right now. Anyway, Yeah, Rockhold beat Tim Bosch, Costas Philippou, lost to roided up Vitor Belfort. Now, here are the wins that I think count in Rockhold's favor. Sure, they were in Strikeforce, whatever. He beat Tim Kennedy. He beat Keith Jardine. Anyone could beat, basically. I think I could beat him, probably. Well, never mind. I take that back. I think Keith Jardine would
You
murder me.
sure about that?
Whatever. He beat Jacare, which I think is a big win. It happened in 2011. Keep that in mind. But I think we're just not giving him enough credit. And the only thing that annoys me about Rockhold is that he's kind of bitching about that. I don't like people that complain about stuff like that. Like, dude, you'll get your credit if you beat Weidman, right? So Joker says, dude, I don't even know. Okay, well, I'll read this in a second. Sorry. I'm taking Rockhold. I just think it's I don't know what makes me pick against Weidman almost every time. It just does. I don't know. For some reason, I just don't like Weidman.
I'll tell you what it is.
But go ahead and give your pick. Go ahead. What is it? What is it? Go ahead.
Luke Rockhold.
You're not taking Luke Rockhold.
I am.
Are you serious?
I am because of the fact.
Why?
Yeah. I heard something. Did you hear Brendan Schaub on Joe Rogan's podcast?
I didn't hear the last one. No. Well, was it Fight Companion or actual?
No, it's just them talking about the fights and stuff.
No, I didn't hear it.
And he said something real interesting to me, is that Chris Weidman brought in Mark Henry to help him. You don't bring people in outside your camp if you're Chris Weidman, unless you're really worried about something that this guy's bringing. You don't bring in different strikers, different wrestlers, different jiu-jitsu guys, unless you have a big fear of what this guy's bringing towards you. And I think that's the problem. The problem is that I don't think Chris Weidman is as confident that he's going to run through this guy like he says he is. And I think he's talking up a big game just because he's trying to pump himself up. You said it. I mean, people are impressed with his fight against Mark Munoz. Mark Munoz was on the downward spiral even before that fight. You know, Vitor Belfort, no TRT, and he still hurt Chris Weidman. Lyoto Machida, older guy, still hurt Weidman in the 4th and 5th round, where Weidman is supposed to be this beast, and he was just like, yeah, come on, keep hitting me. Yeah, dude, you were getting hurt in those last 2 rounds. You can't say you weren't. You know, grueling fight. And to me, it's like Chris Weidman is just catching people at the right time when they're probably peaking or just getting over that hill and just on their downward spiral. Anderson Silva, Anderson Silva was winning, the exchanges. He was faster than him. He was throwing off those kicks, and then he got caught. The second fight, still a weak chin from, recovering, taking the fight too soon, broke his leg. I mean, the none of his wins, the only win that I can say is against Alessio Sakara, which he grinded away to win that fight. Yeah. And he grinded. He's tough, but he relies way too heavily on his toughness and his chin. And I think that his skills are developing and he's getting better. But this bull crap that I knew that Anderson was going to kick me. I was going to break his leg because I knew the perfect defense. No, dude, that was a good defense, and that was just perfect timing. Perfect timing that Anderson threw it, caught it in the wrong place, and he broke his leg. Everything is circumstantial to me with Chris Weidman. And if he's able to beat Luke Rockhold tonight, I'll give him his props. I will jump on his bandwagon. I will be, with the flag behind me like, yeah, Chris Weidman, America. I'm not sold on him because there's so many circumstantial wins that he has. He needs a very, very solid win, and this is a very, very solid fight for him. It's gonna test every skill he has, and I just don't think that his performance against Lyoto proved to me that he's just not at that level. And even though people say, oh, Lyoto was hurt, he's really, really old when he fought Luke Rockhold, doesn't matter. Rockhold still ran over him, literally ran over him. Left him in the dust. I mean, you can't deny that stuff. Even if somebody isn't at their prime anymore, and you run them over, you ran them over. So Luke Rockhold, I just think he's got more skills. He's got the better ground game. He's really good in the jiu-jitsu department, which people say, oh, Chris Weidman, he's really good. He's going to submit Luke. No, he's not. Dude, he went against Jacare, got into those positions, didn't even care. Got out of those positions, was in them, was in danger, just got out. I just think Luke Rockhold is gonna be able to just nullify a lot of the stuff that Chris Weidman does. And people are like, oh, well, Chris is going to take him down and ground and pound him. I don't think so. I think he might take him down, but Luke Rockhold is really good at getting back up,
Yeah.
breaking people's posture, and that's what's going to happen. I think Luke Rockhold's going to win.
Yep. All right, we're on the same page on that one. Few comments on YouTube here. Joker says, "Dude, I don't know how Luke or Chris are gonna fight each other. They seem like they love each other." And then going back and forth with Groundsman on YouTube saying they back and forth actually makes them look like they aren't really friends. That's how I read it. Joker's taking Weidman. And then Groundsman makes a good point. Oh yeah, good point. It's an opinion. Ever since Weidman beat Silva, he's become an absolute douche outside of the ring, which sucks because I was a huge fan of him. Of his, obviously, if he wins, there's no doubt he deserves credibility, 100%. But Luke Rockhold's kind of reduced himself. So,
but what you were saying, you're upset that Luke Rockhold over here complaining that he's not getting his credit. Look at Chris Weidman after he beat what's his name? No. His last fight.
Leota. No,
Vitor. What did he say?
Join the team now.
You guys better jump on the bandwagon now. This is the last chance for you to guys jump on the bandwagon, blah, blah, blah. Dude, shut up. If you have to beg for fans, that's not a good look,
Remember,
don't beg for fans.
He was one of the last champions to sign with Reebok, like his own deal. Remember that? So...
I mean, there's just so many things. I hear a lot of stories that he's a great guy behind the scenes. He's gonna have a guy that's battling cancer walk out with him tonight. All that stuff. He sounds like a great guy. I just think that his cockiness of becoming the champ has overridden all that niceness. It's overtaken all his nice guy status that he has. He's got to put on a great performance. And whatever we say, our breakdown, whatever. This is still going to be a close fight. It's still going to be a close fight, I think.
For sure. Joker says, "Oh snap! Jesse's an undercover hater." All right. And
undercover.
Right. He's outside. He's telling you right now. Anyway, and Joker, he actually said it right before you did. He says it will be too late to join his team. He gave the last chance last fight. So,
that's
you didn't join the team last fight. It's over. It was your last chance.
Damn, that's right. Maybe if I ask him really nicely, huh?
Yeah. Right. And Andrew's taking. Oh, where is it?
I think he said
Weidman.
Yeah, I think he said Weidman.
All right. And then you know who Robin Black is, right?
Yeah. The guy that supposedly has the best breakdowns in the world.
He's got really good breakdowns. I don't know if it's the best, but he's got really good breakdowns, man. And Mike
breakdowns, yes. Predictions, no.
He doesn't. I don't think he's ever confident in his own predictions, but he breaks down fights real well. Mike sent us a link right here. I'm going to watch after the show. It says, Robin Black breaks down all of us McGregor. He says, I think Conor will break Jose. And then as far as because we're about to talk about the fight. And then he says the other one says, breaks down Rockhold versus Weidman. He says, Chris has it in him, but I'm not sure how he will win. So, if you guys want to break down the fight, like a super fucking detailed ass moment-to-moment breakdown, so that's kind of what Robin Black does. He's really good at that. Rogan does it real well, too. But people blame him or accuse him of sucking dick of some sort. So that's kind of what he does.
Well,
including you say that shit all the time. How good are their breakdowns? Robin Black's breakdowns are only a minute or too long. They're pretty good. I don't know. All right, fuck it. Moving on. We're advertising with somebody else at this point. But I enjoy
no. Listen to Luke Thomas after the fights, and he has great breakdowns of
he does pretty good. He actually does. Yeah. One of the few journal or I guess media MMA media guys I actually respect. Wow, hold up. I actually give someone credit. Hang on. That hurt.
Whoa.
I know, right?
You okay? Did that hurt?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I'm breathing.
Sounded like it hurt saying that.
It did hurt a little bit. My ego just broke. All right. Let's talk about the fight. The fight we've been waiting for. It's fucking on, man.
Jose Is it Aldo. Safe to talk about it now?
It's safe now. I think it's safe now.
Okay.
Let's hope they're just hanging out in their hotel rooms, just doing nothing. Just do nothing. Just breathe. Just stay breathing.
Not even like they can't even walk to the arena. They have to get in a wheelchair, wheel them over there. Pad the whole room.
Oh yeah. Get the Popemobile to move both of them. Bulletproof glass and a Mercedes with special suspension, all that stuff. Anyway, all right. Jose Aldo, the champ, against the interim champ, Conor McGregor. We don't have to talk about what they've done. Conor McGregor. Jose Aldo's beat everybody. Frankie Edgar once. Chad Mendes twice.
Cheated.
Huh?
I was like, cheated?
You know what? Yes, he did. I'm not. That's very true. Grabbed the fence, landed, turns around, lands the knee perfect, but it was just such a sick knee. I couldn't say anything about it.
No,
About
yeah, I
the
mean, it was perfect
yeah,
timing, but the setup was cheating.
100%. I agree. Anyway, the only UFC featherweight champ that there's ever been, and probably the most dominant fighter. Yeah, probably the most dominant fighter on the roster, right?
No,
Or at least who's better?
DJ and John Jones,
Okay, you beat me. DJ for sure. John Jones,
pretty dominant.
pretty dominant.
He beats you. He beats you where you're best at, and I think
You know
that's what
what?
makes him so good.
Jose's number one. Oh, no, sorry. DJ's number one. Jose and Jones are tied at number two, I think. For now. For now. Anyway. All right. Jose Aldo is a beast. We know his story. Conor McGregor has created him. So when we came to the UFC, he was nobody. Beats Marcus Burns via TKO and just starts talking. Beats Max Holloway via decision after being injured. He fought injured and continues talking, right? Diego Brandao TKOs him in Ireland. Huge win for him. His first legit, in my opinion, legit-ass win, besides the Holloway one, was Dustin Poirier. TKOing him in the first round like the way he did was crazy. But getting a title shot off a Dennis Siver win, to me, was questionable, right? But whatever. You got him the title shot, whatever. And then, beats Chad Mendes via TKO on 2 weeks' notice. You're obviously seeing where I'm leaning here. Look, first of all, I said this shit on Twitter yesterday, and I should have known there was a ton of Irish people just searching Conor McGregor and Jose Aldo on Twitter because the shitstorm that came my way was hilarious. Because I was talking about the weigh-ins, right? The weigh-in, first of all, if you didn't see the weigh-in, go see it. It was great. Both guys weigh in, and Jose Aldo fucks with Conor McGregor, does his little stance he did the other night, that little, whatever the hell he does. Mm-hmm. And from the angle we were watching, that I was watching, obviously the regular camera angle, it looked like Conor got pissed about it. But that's not what happened at all. Conor got close, and Jose Aldo pushed him away. He pushed him, right? And that's what got Conor crazy. So I said on Twitter, literally seconds after the weigh-in, I said, wow, it looked like Conor was shook. And again, I'm taking it back. He wasn't shook. My God. Jose pushed him. I got it. But
I could probably see the wave of like just nasty tweets coming your way. I bet
Irish people get angry when you talk about their heroes. Okay, they get mad as fuck. And I was going back and forth. And look, it doesn't faze me. Trolls are funny to me. I went back and forth with this guy, and after a while, we ended up okay, well, whatever. And I almost turned into a discussion about the fight. Then Andy jumped in and started all this potato gobbling stuff. And man, was that shit good. I couldn't stop laughing. They were going back and forth. It was so good.
Yeah, I bet.
It was so good. And by the way, before, this is how much people didn't believe that this fight was going to go down. Andy put out a tweet saying that the rumor was that he heard a rumor, or he said something like, rumor has it that Conor McGregor isn't going to make weight or something like that. That shit took off. It took off like fucking wildfire. And he tweeted me about it. He goes, your shitstorm wasn't as bad as the one I got from my rumor. Yeah, dude, that was so good. It was so good. Twitter is such an animal, and it's hilarious, and I love it. I love it because of its comedy, because it can be super funny. It can be super fucked up, but it can be super funny. Anyway, so back to the fights. Jose Aldo. Leg kicks, takes him down, and finishes him choke, unless Jose's ego takes over and he's like, I'm going to beat this guy on the feet the whole time. But I think this is going to go to the ground. I think Jose's going to choke him out. Not quick. I think he's going to beat him up. There's going to be a really good fight for the first 2 rounds. In the 3rd round, I think Jose's going to finish him off. But, if Conor wins, first of all, I'm not going to be mad. Second of all, I won't be super surprised. Mm-hmm. But I got Jose. Jose finishes him. Who you got?
No, Conor. Here we go. Mm-hmm. I disagree. No, I agree with you that Jose Aldo, and I agree with everybody. Jose Aldo has the most amazing kicks ever. They're hard. They're fast. Not as fast as what Conor McGregor has seemed inside that octagon. He's really good at movement. He talks about movement. He talks about how he hits. And I think it's sneaky how hard Conor McGregor hits. I think people don't understand how hard he hits and how accurately he hits people. And I think that's the key right there. And the other problem is, to me, Jose Aldo is like, I'm going to say like a GSP, in my opinion.
Cruiser.
Huh?
A cruiser.
What do you mean?
He
No, no, no,
cruises.
not a cruiser. I
Oh.
think it's that he's predictable.
Okay.
Everybody knew GSP was going to come in, he was going to jab your face off, and eventually he was going to time one of your punches and take you down. All right.
Mhm.
The problem here is that Jose Aldo, everybody's like, oh, he's gonna eat up his leg. I don't think so. I think what's gonna happen is he might take a couple kicks, but I think Conor McGregor is gonna be able to time one of those kicks and counter him and put him away. And I think the problem is that Jose Aldo really, really has it in his head to punch, punch, kick, punch, 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 kick. Every combination he lands, he ends with a kick. And that's the problem. He's too predictable, in my opinion. You see all of his fights. Every time he tries to throw a kick, he telegraphs it. He's not setting them up. When he's doing single leg kicks, he doesn't
Mhm.
set them up. He telegraphs it, throws, and I think that's going to be the big problem for him. You say he's going to take Connor down. I really don't think so either. I really don't think so. I think he's going to be able to stuff a takedown just like he was able to stuff takedowns from Chad. I think he's going to break apart Jose Aldo's body. I think it's going to be a great stand-up war. That's really what I think is going to happen here. I wouldn't be surprised if Jose Aldo just does everything that you said and does quite the opposite of what I'm saying and destroys
Mhm.
Connor. But I wouldn't be surprised if Connor does exactly what I'm saying and destroys Jose Aldo.
Okay.
Both of these guys very skilled. Both of these guys coming in pretty high strung and emotional, trying to beat the crap out of each other. And I
Yeah.
think that's going to be the problem. I think Jose Aldo is going to want to prove a point that he's the best. And we all heard the rumor that he wants to retire after this. And that's a problem for me. If he's really thinking about walking away after this just because, he's done it all, that's a problem. You can't be thinking about the end while you have the biggest fight in front of you. He's
Right.
going to make a buttload of money. And that'd be a great way to walk out of here. But you have to look at what's in front of you, and what you have in front of you is a guy that has a lot of skills, has a lot of different ways to attack you, and I just think he hits harder than most people think. He's a big guy. I think they're almost about the same size, right?
Yeah. Let me pull
I
up
think
this.
Connor's just a little bit taller, right?
2 inches taller. 2 inches taller than Jose.
Yeah. See, and I think that's going to be the other problem. I
Uh,
think.
yeah.
No, go ahead.
Sorry. The one thing I have on Connor, you might have mentioned it, is his reach. He's got length. He's got a lot of length. When Connor hits you, you seen the way he hits. He almost like does this thing where he kind of sends. It's
Yeah,
almost
he
like
extends.
he extends, and it's beautiful how he does it. And if he's fast enough to land it, it's gonna hurt. It's gonna hurt a lot, right?
Yeah,
I think Jose's quick enough to not get hit like that, but we've seen Jose get in some wars, man. We've seen Jose get in some wars with some guys that we thought were not gonna be able to hit him. So that's why I said, like, if Connor wins, I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be mad. I'd be very
yeah.
impressed. But
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, this is going to be a fight. This is a true, in my opinion, indication of where Connor is.
mhm.
You said he's got some good wins. Yeah, they're good wins that were kind of tailor made for him to really
Very,
show
yeah.
off, showcase his ability. But that Chad Mendes fight, whether he was gassed, he didn't have enough time to train. I still think that he did exactly. He showed that like he has that mindset that you're not gonna beat me. He was laughing at Chad while he's punching him. He was still talking crap to him.
Mhm.
To me, he's like a Nick Diaz type guy, where whether the chips are down, he's still going to be in your face trying to tell
Oh
you that you
yeah.
suck, you hit like a bitch, blah, 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 blah. He's still playing the mind game. And I don't know if Jose Aldo has fought anybody that does that. And I just don't know if he's ready for that type of pressure that's going to come. It's going to be physical and mental that's going to come at him. Plus, let's still talk about the fact that his training partner that he brought in, that's the Brazilian or whatever, Conor McGregor,
Mhm.
probably is the one that hurt his ribs. So
Oh
there's
yeah.
openings that obviously this guy still saw, and there's openings that Jose Aldo leaves. And I hope that he learned from that, and that's what's going to bring him over the top. But I still think Connor has tricks up his sleeve that's going to hurt him and put him away.
Yeah.
Either
And,
way, I think we're both going to be right. It's going to end in the third, one way or the other.
I think so as well. And here's the thing. Well, first of all, Andy's picking obviously Aldo. Um,
Not Connor. Yeah.
no, obviously he's picking not Connor. How's that? He's picking not Connor. Got a few comments here on YouTube. Groundsman's taking Aldo. He says, I think Aldo wins, and I hope it's a finish. But win or lose, it only makes the division that much more exciting. I think Jose's better in striking, says says Joker. Um, Aldo will stop Conor McGregor's movement and footwork with the leg kicks. I agree with that as well. Let's see what else we got. Oh, Joker's got to go. Oh, he's getting upset now. Joker got mad at you. So he didn't think
Why?
you know what you're talking about. Anyway, I think he's probably joking, but still.
It's all right, Joker.
And oh, when he brings it up too, Aldo did say at the pre-fight press conference that he's not going to retire. A lot of people say that too. You know what I mean?
Smoke screen, huh?
It could be, yeah,
Nice.
it could be. Who knows? Look.
Hey, but then look, he also said that he was spreading out rumors in his camp to see where the holes were coming from.
Exactly.
Dude, you have too much on your mind if you're thinking about people spying on your camp. You know,
Yeah.
that's you can't be thinking about that crap. Who cares if someone's spying on your camp? What are they gonna like watch your game plan? Take pictures and video and then send it to Connor, and Connor's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna do exactly like how to beat. No, dude, both of these guys are gonna come in and do their game, no matter what. You know, who cares if they train in front of each other? You know, it's just who's got the better skills on that night and who's able to implement their game plan.
Yeah. And look, we can disagree. Finally, this fight's here. Fine, this is going to be an exciting card. The entire card is exciting, and the way we always talk about the way they built these cards. It's just like you were saying. It's shaping up to just an explosive ending, and it's going to be great. And it's just going to be awesome, and I can't fucking wait for the fight to start. Yeah, man, this is going to be a massive, massive night tonight. One of the best. This is a great way to end 2015, mind you. Next weekend, Donna Cerrone RDA. We still got that one to go. And low key beast mode.
JDS and over. Ooh.
Low card beast mode free ass card for you guys to watch. I'm gonna watch it. I recommend it. We're gonna talk about it as well. We're gonna do a pre-fight show for it too. But yeah, Jose Aldo, Conor McGregor. The talking is over. They're finally getting in the cage. Conor's gonna keep talking. Jose Aldo don't speak English. He won't care. And we're gonna see who's better, 100%. Groundsman says that person that thinks spying on camps is lame. If it's true, what kind of champ needs to do that? It's not true. It's just Conor fucking around. I really highly doubt it's true. Come on now, But if he does, that's some low key, weird shit. Actually, not even low key, it's just weird. And then Bulldog of MMA. Oh, the good guys over at Unique Kennels says, in my opinion, Conor being only the second southpaw, although a spot will take a lot of all those kicks.
What was that? Andy that just asked that if the IV ban will affect Conor?
No, that was actually the Bulldog of MMA. I'm gonna go with his.
No, I don't think so. I think if it's gonna affect anybody, it's gonna affect Jose Aldo more than Conor, because Jose Aldo has really been harping on the fact that he needs that IV ban and he's gonna use it in his room, hiding from the commission or USADA or whatever. So he's really holding on to that. And I hope that he's let that go and he's brought in a nutritionist to really help him to hydrate better. And I think Conor, wasn't his last fight under that IV ban? Or was his still like before the IV ban?
I want to say it was right after they announced it, right?
Maybe.
Or right before they announced it? I don't know. I'll tell you this. I thought Jose Aldo looked great at weigh-ins. I think he did exactly what you just said. I think he got a nutritionist. And I mean, even in the embedded videos, he had someone there making food for him.
If it was going to affect anybody, it would have been Jose Aldo. And it doesn't look like it's affecting him. So I don't think this is going to be any kind of a factor.
And Conor always looks awful. Always looks awful. He's already talked about he's moving up. It's going to happen. So he knows he needs to move up. He knows the weight cut is killing him. And this is going to be one of the last couple times he's going to do it. So he's going to get down to 145. So that's it, ladies and gentlemen. It's going to do it for our show. We went an hour and almost an hour and a half of content for you guys. So appreciate you guys watching. Real quick, if you happen to be in Las Vegas, Mr. GG, who we had on our Spanish show, I said I was in La Jaula. Gorgeous George, you guys know him from MMA Junkie Radio. He's on, I think, Sirius XM. I think is where they put the show as well. He goes, anybody, this is on Facebook, so if you guys like his page on there, you get this as well. He says, anybody getting that last urge to watch tonight's UFC card? Well, the arena's sold out, and that's true. It's a sold-out event. So come to our viewing party at Club Madrid inside Sunset Station and hang with us. They did that. They did the UFC 193 card as well. Lock in your seats by calling 702-547-7777. They're going to be there, drink specials, all that stuff. I'm just promoting GG because he's a good dude. and we really appreciate that he came on our show, definitely. So if you're in Vegas, hang out Central Station with GG, a good dude, and you want to talk back and forth about MMA with him, dude knows everything. So I recommend that. Otherwise, skip the bars. Definitely skip the bars. All right. Go with your 10 of your friends. Everyone throwing some money to buy the pay-per-view. The rest goes to food and beer, like I'm doing tonight, my friends, and kick back and enjoy a
Who just
baller
asked that?
card.
Who just asked if they used the IVs before? Because yes, I know for a fact that both of them used IVs before.
Yeah, before the ban, yeah.
Every single time, pretty much for Aldo.
Yeah, Aldo definitely. Connor probably more than likely. So this is gonna be I don't know. I think they were affected different ways. I think I don't think they were affected similarly.
It's going 3 rounds, man. 3 rounds or less, it ain't gonna be a problem.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Thanks everyone for watching. Shout out to Andy, Mike Jarvis, Joker, Groundsman over on YouTube as well. Anybody that watched it, appreciate it. Shout outs to everybody that watched Code, even your nasty ass sending weird shit on YouTube.
Send the hate my way for my picks. Send hate over here too for wrong picks, right picks.
What?
Before I forget, I got a little parlay going for you guys.
Yeah. Jesse's starting to do these picks now. So what do you got? Or these bets?
Forget. So the one I'm going with, and yeah, this is gonna be tough. I went with I saw a couple numbers for Jocelyn Jones-Lybarger. She's the underdog at plus 250. The next one was
wait, time out. Just plus 250?
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad.
I'm telling you.
That's a good bet. That's a really good bet.
Know what's up?
That's a good bet.
I got Yoel Romero. I think when I saw it, it was 125, and yesterday I had a friend check in, and it was plus 135. Moved up a little bit, so still the underdog. Mm-hmm. And then my last pick, Luke Rockhold. He's a plus 115.
It's a good bet.
By the way, if somebody wants to pick up Jose Aldo, go now, because the Irish are pushing that line and making him a huge underdog. Last I checked, he was plus 150. So
even before, like, wow,
the Irish people push that line. So yeah, now's about a good time to go bet on him. If you're in Vegas, go make that bet. If you think that Jose Aldo's got this in the bag, go make that bet.
And I have friends in Vegas that can bet. Mm-hmm. I'm gonna text these guys right now.
I'm telling you. It's a good time to do it because all those Irishmen are just pushing that line. I don't think there's a lot of Brazilians that are pushing that line anywhere. So smart money, put it on Jose Aldo. Yeah. You'll get a return for sure.
One more thing. We know the Irish travel well. At the weigh-ins, I heard very little cheers for Aldo. Very little cheers. Do you think the Brazilians didn't even bother?
No, I hear it's a good mix, but they're just loud as hell, dude.
Yeah.
The Irish are loud. Did you see the video of them blocking the street in Vegas?
Yes, I did. What the fuck was that? Irish, chill the hell out.
That's how they roll, man.
I'll tell you what, if this fight goes to decision, no matter who wins, there will be riots, there will be fights. Stay off the streets in Las Vegas. Do not go outside. If it goes decision, I wouldn't even stick around for the decision. I would run immediately to wherever.
Yeah, you don't want to be in there.
All right? Yeah. Don't bother calling
Uber. If it goes to the 5th round, just get out of there.
Yeah, don't bother calling Uber. Don't bother calling whoever else. They're not coming for you. The police aren't going to come help you. The National Guard's not coming. Special Ops can't help you either. You're fucked. You're so fucked. That's all it is. All right?
The best thing you could do is find the Irish group and drink some beer with them and cheer and just blend in. Just do that. That might help you.
If you're not white, blend with the Brazilians and run with them. Okay, it's kind of what it is. Anyway.
Man, the Brazilians ain't going to run. They're just going to sit there and fight. This is going to be bad.
That's true. You know what? Good luck to you. Godspeed. All right. Anyway, again, thank you for watching. Appreciate you guys watching. You follow Jesse and send all your hate for him at Spawat1983. You see it down here on this side, right? That one. All right. And I'm at Elaw31. Subscribe, share the video. We appreciate you guys so much for watching. And we do this for fun, man. This is fun for us, shooting the shit back and forth with you guys. The interaction, it's great. We appreciate it 100%. And we will catch you guys on another pre-fight show next week when we talk about UFC, whatever they're calling that one, Fight Night.
And for those Spanish speakers, we'll see you tomorrow.
Tomorrow night. Instead, I was going to holler myself, Jesse Rubacaba. Come learn some Spanish with us, I guess. Anyway. All right, fellas. You guys have a good one, and happy UFC 194 day. Enjoy the fights. Peace.